All right, so now we're going to talk about the mobility circuit, the War Eagle mobility circuit, as part of the Team Chest T workouts. Again, there's our daily routine. We just concluded the warm up just a minute ago. Now we move on to the mobility circuit before we move on to the strength workout. The mobility circuit is extremely important. Please make sure you do it every day for the benefit of our kids, for the sake of our kids. They need to be doing that mobility circuit. Mobility is basically being able to use full range of motion without any restrictions whatsoever. So here we go with the War Eagle mobility circuit. Now, it consists of about 11 exercises. You'll see here in a second. 12 if you include War Eagle jacks, which is how we end all of our mobility circuits just prior to getting started with the strength portion of the lift. Anyway, you can see there we've got 11 movements. I'll go through each of them here in just a moment with you. We'll conclude with War Eagle jacks. Each of them has a specific purpose. The first three, total body activation. The second four, hip mobility. The third, there's two of them there, adductor mobility. You have Achilles activation. And last of all, you have juice activation. The total body activation consists of 3 exercises: jumping jacks, seal jacks, and crossover jacks. Let's take a look at them here on the screen. First of all, jumping jacks. Just make sure that number one, you've got your toes up when you're bouncing. Also, full range of motion with the arms. For seal jacks, arms need to be parallel to the ground. Other than that, it's a normal jumping jack. Instead of overhead, though, it's out in front of you. Crossover jacks, crossing the feet over, alternating, and then you're also alternating arms. Make sure that your arms are parallel to the ground and not hanging down beside your hips. Okay, that's the total body activation. Now we move on to hip mobility. We got 4 exercises: fire hydrants, frog kicks, forward and backward hip circles. You're doing 5 of these for each leg. And the important thing here is quality over quantity. Do it nice and slow. I don't like to use the word slow, but do it nice and controlled so that we make sure they're doing it right. Okay, there's your fire hydrant, coaching points there. Toes up, and the knee needs to get up above the hip joint. Okay, kids will try to sandbag on this, and man, they'll barely bring that knee up. They need to get it up above their hip joint. Okay, keep that toe up the entire time. Don't let it point. Also, keep that back straight as well. Okay, next we move on to frog kicks, kind of like a fire hydrant, except the leg is already up. Again, that knee has got to be up there near the hip joint, preferably above the hip joint, toes up, and they're driving their knee into the armpit. Something a lot of kids will try to do is they'll try to bring their shoulder back to their knee. Make sure that you don't let them do that. They got to bring that knee up into their armpit. I got to do a little bit better job right there with my left leg, kind of slacking a little bit. Get that knee up above the hip joint, knees up, toes up, knee to the armpit. Those are your frog kicks. Remember, 5 right, 5 for the left leg. Nice control. Next, we move on to forward hip circles. Again, toe is up. The knee has to be above the hip joint. Basically, the best way to describe this is I'm making a big giant O with my knee. Okay? Kids will try to sandbag on you if you're not intentional about telling them to get that knee up above the hip joint. Hurts a little bit. By this point in time, their hips will be talking to them. So we need to make sure they keep their technique, which is one reason why we want to do it nice and controlled. If they start going fast, they'll get really, really sloppy quick. Okay. T is up, toes up, knee is up above the hip joint. Left leg's kind of slacking there. All right, next we go to reverse hip circles. Again, it's the same movement. Now it's just in reverse. My toe is still up. My knee is up above the hip joint, and I'm trying to make a big giant O with my knee. I'm trying to draw an imaginary O with my knee. Okay, 5 on the right, 5 on the left. Nice and controlled motion. Make sure that they don't get sloppy. Quality over quantity. And those are your reverse hip circles, and that's the hip mobility portion of the mobility circuit. So we've done total body activation, those jumping jacks exercises you want to do for 10 reps each. The hip mobility you're doing for 5 each leg. Next we go to adductor mobility. These are done for 6 reps apiece. The groiners and the gate swings. The important thing here, again, nice and slow, controlled movements, quality over quantity. Don't let them get too fast. Don't let them get too sloppy. You can't really see my trail leg here, but what's going on here is my Front leg is up near my hand, outside my hand. My trail leg is straight, and I'm pushing my hips into the ground, okay? Again, kids will like to go kind of fast on this, and they get sloppy. It's important that they get that groin and adductor mobility stretch in by getting that foot up and outside the hand, trail leg is straight, and they're pushing their hips into the ground. Gate swings, I'm starting out with toes forward, okay? Chest is up, my base goes to a wide base, I land on my heels, my toes out, and basically I'm sinking my hips in between my heels to get that good groin stretch in, okay? The adductor region, the groin area, very, very important to have mobility and range of motion there, okay? These are gate swings. It's very, very important. Toes ahead, toes out to the side, and it's also important they get a wide base. Sometimes they'll get too narrow, their knees will go out over the toes. We don't want that, okay? And they're just going to sink their hips in between their knees. Important to keep that chest up too, just a basic fundamental movement that we try to teach in the War Eagle weight room. Okay, Achilles activation, very, very important to get those Achilles nice and warmed up, keep those things active. Pogo jump, super, super simple. 10 seconds each for each movement. And basically what they're going to do is keep their toes up, and they're going to bounce on the balls of their feet. They do not bend their knees stay locked, and they can use their hands for momentum there. They're going from a quick pogo jump, which is quick jumps, then to a high pogo jump, where they're still going to keep their knees locked, try to keep their toes up, use their hands for momentum, and they're going for height. So quick, they're going for quick. Fast jumps, and for high pogo jumps, they're going for height. Juice activation, War Eagle jacks. Basically, it's like this. I'm going to do jumping jacks while I spell out War Eagle. W-A-R-E-A-G-L-E. War Eagles, War Eagles, War Eagles. And they just go crazy. Can't really bring it in because of the coronavirus right now. Normally we'd bring it in and somebody break it out. We'll just do the best we can while keeping 6 feet distance. But War Eagle jacks for juice activation. Overall, it's 11 jumping jacks if they spell War Eagle correctly and finish with the 3 War Eagles at the end. Anyway, got any questions? Just holler at Coach Crumley or myself, and we'll be glad to help you out. All right, let's move on to the strength portion of the workout.